Henry VIII isn't remembered for building England. He's remembered for destroying the women who loved him. But the shocking truth, he didn't execute his wives out of passion or betrayal or even love gone wrong. He did it because he was terrified. Terrified of losing power. Terrified of looking weak. Terrified of leaving England without a son. And two queens paid for that fear with their lives. Henry VIII wasn't raised to rule. His older brother Arthur was. Henry was the spare, the carefree second prince. But when Arthur suddenly died at 15, the entire kingdom panicked. Henry, unprepared and insecure, was thrust onto the throne as a teenager. Behind the confidence, behind the swagger, stood a king terrified of losing everything just as quickly as he gained it. This fear became the core of his reign, and it shaped the fate of his wives. Catherine loved Henry fiercely. Their marriage lasted over 20 years, longer than all his other marriages combined. But Catherine's tragedy was simple. She couldn't give Henry a surviving male heir. Henry believed God was cursing the marriage. The Tudor line was hanging by a thread. Rebellions whispered in the shadows. What if the king dies without a son? Who rules? Who inherits? Fear consumed him, and fear pushed him toward another woman, Anne Boleyn. But Catherine was a princess of Spain, aunt to the Holy Roman Emperor, a diplomatic powerhouse. Henry couldn't kill her, so he destroyed her reputation instead and locked her away. Anne Boleyn wasn't just a pretty face. She was sharp, ambitious, political, and she gave Henry exactly what he craved: power. For her, Henry broke England from the Catholic Church. He tore apart centuries of religious tradition. He created the Church of England for her. But the moment Anne failed to produce a son, everything changed. Court factions whispered that Anne was a witch, that she had cursed Henry's fertility, that she was too powerful, too opinionated, too dangerous. Anne was beginning to outshine the king himself, and Henry's greatest fear returned. I have no male heir. My dynasty will collapse. So he chose the one solution that guaranteed he'd never have to face her again. He accused her of adultery, treason, and even incest, charges no one believed, not even his own advisors. Anne was executed with a sword, quiet, efficient, final. It wasn't justice, it was political self-preservation. By the time Henry married Catherine Howard, he was overweight, infected, paranoid, and aging rapidly. Catherine was a teenager, young enough to be his daughter. When rumors spread of her affairs, Henry's courtiers saw an opportunity. If the king looked foolish, if the king looked weak, if the king looked cuckolded, everything could crumble. So Henry struck first. Catherine Howard was executed not truly for treason, but to protect the king's fragile image. He killed her to prove he was still powerful, still feared, still in control. Henry VIII executed his wives for one reason: fear disguised as power, fear of losing the throne, fear of losing control, fear of looking weak, fear of leaving England without a son, fear of being remembered as a failed king. In a world where kings were gods on earth, a single mistake, a single scandal could destroy an empire. So Henry destroyed the women instead. Henry VIII didn't execute his wives because they betrayed him. He executed them because he believed the world would betray him first.